Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, listeners. This is your host, Andy Curry. I have on the line with me Shemeka Brathwaite. I'm excited to have Shemeka with us today. She has been speaking for 8 years professionally. The content she speaks on is really interesting. It's on generational issues in the workplace. I can't wait to hear about that. She speaks primarily in the U.S. She is based out of New York. She has written an ebook that she gives away, and we'll talk about that here shortly. And she is currently working on a physical book. So, Shemeka, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me on today.
We're excited to have you here today. I want to start off by asking you about your speaking business. Please tell the listeners who it is you're talking to, who you're helping them, and how you're helping them, and with what.
I speak to organizations and associations who want to attract, engage, and retain millennials. I have firsthand experience about the millennials because I am one myself. What I like to talk about is several workplace issues and challenges in regards to relationships that many millennials may have with interacting and collaborating with baby boomers, also with Gen X, and other individuals within the organization. When it comes to associations, many of their challenges is to attract younger individuals and professionals within their organization who could perhaps develop into the future leaders within their organization. So I help to consult with some organizations on strategies on how to effectively do that. And some of those strategies is through social media, how to build a brand for your organization where you're able to reach out to this new market. For example, professional associations, people used to hear about it through word of mouth. But now if you're speaking to the millennial, most likely they could Google your organization on their iPad or their telephone or their cell phone, their cell phone.
Sure.
So being able to have that presence that would be able to attract them and offering solutions as well as events and activities that would engage them is highly important for retention, because many individuals may join an organization and then leave within the first year. So I talk about those strategies. From the millennial standpoint, I talk to them and teach them strategies on how to brand themselves and also use that as a means to be noticed and recognized within their organization and association. So that way they can increase their referability for business and career opportunities.
Okay, now this is an interesting niche that you're in. How did you become the expert? What made you the expert?
As I mentioned before, I'm a millennial myself, and what happened there's so many different things as a speaker you can talk about, but the reason why I became an expert in my field, I looked back in my life and my history of how I was able to successfully develop relationships with people from different generations. For example, when I was in high school, I used to volunteer at the Senior Citizen Center. When I was in the photography club in high school, I did my thesis or final project on the life of senior citizens. So here I am, a high school student, studying the life of mature adults and making comparisons and also seeing the similarities between us. I continued that throughout college, and even as a new professional in the workplace, I've been able to successfully handle myself with professionals from a variety of different age groups and seek out mentorships and develop professional relationships. So I was able to take those key strategies and teach people how to do the same, how to teach millennials the same of how to interact and engage people from different generations.
That's interesting. When you're when you're first starting that and you're working on your speaking business, did people just say, hey, would you come talk to us about that? And did it grow from that, or did you actively seek out places to talk about it and then it grew? How did that work for you?
When I first started out as a speaker, I was a generalist, and I started out as a motivational.
Shemeka, hang on just a minute.
When I first started out speaking, I began as a professional spoken word artist, and I went from just speaking about poetry to motivational messages. So my poetry started to expand. From there, I became a motivational speaker, and I spoke about many different topics such as goal setting, achieving your dreams, and other topics that was a general motivation. But once I've learned as a speaker, there are riches and niches where you have to niche and really pick your own lane as a speaker. I started to think about what area I would be a great expert at. My background is in adult education and human resource development. I've worked in a university setting where I've had the opportunity to work with thousands of students within a college setting and provide them advice on the workplace. I recruited them for positions. So I had the opportunity to really observe and learn their mindset, talk to them, and provide strategies for them. So it just made sense for me to stay within the area of talking about workplace issues, but specifically talking about networking and capitalizing on focusing on generational issues. For the first time, we have about 4 generations all at the same time in the workplace. And each generation have their own unique characteristics. And it's a matter of, in order of having a great team and working collaboratively, you have to be able to harness the strengths of all these different individuals, so that way you can meet the bottom line.
When you started speaking, a lot of people, they'll go get help at like Toastmasters and stuff. Did you ever do any of that, or did you just kind of throw yourself into it?
Yeah, actually, the way that I found out about public speaking or professional speaking, I did an internship while in college for a professional speaker. And she made all of her interns attend a Toastmasters meeting. And that was my first exposure to Toastmasters, and I'm still an active member of Toastmasters because I believe that it's important to focus, to develop, and sharpen my craft as a speaker. And that's a safe space in order to do that in front of a real live audience and receive that professional feedback. I'm also a member of the National Speakers Association and the Women Speakers Association. So I also join professional associations to keep me abreast of the techniques, strategies on maintaining my speaker business.
Okay. What's the last group that you spoke at? And talk about that and what you were saying to them and how you helped them.
Right. The last group that I spoke to, it was for the American Bar Association. They had a mid-winter conference. At that conference, there was a women's networking group. I spoke at the networking breakfast at 7 a.m. in the morning. It was at the Waldorf Astoria. And basically, I talked about developing extraordinary networks. And what I did was I talked about how new professionals can work with more seasoned professionals and seek out their guidance as mentors, how to develop relationships, get noticed within their organizations, and as well as how can more of the experienced professionals utilize the newer professionals in order to learn about techniques, technology, to have a mutual professional relationship. I talked about other strategies in regards to, I'm so sorry, I messed up there. I talked about networking, how to develop strategic partnerships and mentoring relationships.
And that was how long ago?
That was a couple months ago. I just recently had a baby. He's 3 months old. So I've taken a short little break from my speaking business. And what I've been doing in the meantime, since I've been on break, is utilizing my medium online by offering webinars, teleseminars, and other means of opportunity to speak and reach out to individuals, and developing my online training program that I'm going to launch out in the fall. So I haven't stopped my speaking business, but because of me now being a new mom, I have to reshift how I do business.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a great way that I've managed. So I am now booking my calendar for the fall. I have some really great upcoming speaking engagements that I look forward to speaking to the audience with. And I'm looking forward to taking it from there and growing and developing as a speaker.
Well, congrats on being a new mom. What's your little guy's name?
Elias Brathwaite.
Elias, I like that name.
Yes.
And he's 3 months old.
He's 3 months old.
And now, is this your only child?
Yes, it's my only child.
Okay, and it's amazing how they change your life, isn't it?
Yes, it's amazing, and it's for the best, and I'm even more motivated to become successful, because now I have a little person dependent on me, so I look forward to that.
You bet. And it's when you have a child for the first time, it's incredible just how much you can love another human being, because you just look at them, you're just taken by they're just beautiful.
Exactly.
Now, you have spoken to lots of groups, and so what event sticks out in your mind where you really knew you made a difference, and what was it?
For me, so I've spoken to, as a generational expert, I'm able to speak to a variety of different audiences, which is great. I've spoken to, as I mentioned before, lawyers. I'm speaking coming up this October to the police department. But what really stood out for me was when I did a speaking engagement, a keynote address to 3rd to 6th graders. And I loved their energy. They were so excited. It was a very engaging presentation. And I did something. What I did was I spoke on the power of words and teaching them how their words affect each other and how they can also use that to motivate themselves. And I also connected to the world of work, how as students, your classmates are your friends and, they're your work, are related and correlated to that of how once they become older, how that will relate to the world of work. And I believe that teaching them at that early of an age, and they could remember that and implement that throughout their schools and studies, I believe that I made a huge impact on their lives.
The power of words is huge. I'm a self-help junkie, and I've done a lot of studying on that. And my sweetheart the other day was talking about her kids, and she says, "I'm homesick for my kids." And I heard her say that for 3 times.
Wow.
And I said, "Honey, you said you were home sick for your kids." Mm. And I said, every time I hear you say that, that almost makes me wince, because sick is a powerful word.
It is.
And I said, you should change that to, I miss my kids, I want to talk to them, because that's way less impactful, but it's still, what do you think about power of words like that?
I do. I think our words shapes our world. I believe that if you speak things into existence, it will materialize in regard to what it is that you're trying to achieve. For example, I'm working on my new demo video so I could post it to my website. And I was thinking, okay, I need to find a place where I can shoot my demo video, incorporate some speaking engagements, as well as just me talking in front of the camera. And I couldn't figure it out, but I just spoke it into existence. And lo and behold, within that week, a professional technology production company were looking for people to come and just speak on stage, so that way their tech crew could learn and practice shooting in front of a live speaker. And I said, wow, look at this. I spoke it, I believe it, and it manifested, it materialized. The world has a way of working things out. If you really believe it, you speak it, and I'm a strong believer on that. So as a speaker, a trainer, facilitator, I'm very engaging. I like to empower people. I don't just believe in just pouring just straight content, but I like to show them and teach them strategies on how to accomplish it, and then also give them the motivation and the inspiration to believe that it is possible, that they can do this. If I give them 5 steps, they shouldn't be overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, how I'm going to do this. But they could feel like, I can do this. And if you say that over and over, I can do this. I can work well with others in the workplace. I can become a supervisor one day. I can achieve whatever it is that you put your mind to, that it is possible. So I like to incorporate. That's still my core as an individual, and I also like to share that with people as I'm teaching them great content.
I agree. My friend Mark Schulman, in his book Conquering Life's Stage Fright, he writes a chapter on choosing your words and using the phrase "get to" instead of "I have to" or "I need to." And as subtle as that is, boy, that really changes the psychology in your thinking. Like, I've got to go see a doctor today. Change that to, I get to go see a doctor today. A lot of people don't get to. Their legs don't work, or they don't have a car.
Exactly.
And as subtle as it is, I think it's very powerful. So I agree with what you're saying. Well, Shemeka, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Now, how can people get a hold of you should they want to know more and or have you speak?
Yes, they could visit my website, www.shemekabrathwaite.com. There they'll find all the information they need to know about my background, my program, services, and they can also get a free copy of my ebook, Work Purposefully and Maximize Your Value.
Very good. Well, Shemeka, thank you for pulling back the curtain, letting us know what's going on, and congratulations on Elias. Did I pronounce that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did.
I'll bet he's a handsome little son of a gun.
He is. He's adorable.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.